Hey everyone, Kathy here, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you a very easy way to create some beautiful depth and texture in your watercolor paintings. And I'll be using a paint that I used to cringe at the sight of. It collected dust in my palette when all it wanted was a chance. So grab your paints and brushes or your favorite morning scone as you sit back and relax in our little cozy creative space. But first, if you're new, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get more videos like this in the future. Let's get to it. So I'm using 3 colors for this: French Ultramarine, Permanent Red, and a bit of Yellow Deep. And I'm using a hot press paper for the portrait. You can find a more specific list of materials in the description below. I've mixed the rose and the yellow, and added a bit of ultramarine to create a soft skin tone. And so I'm painting a light wash over the nose, the eyes, the cheeks, and the ear. For this particular painting, due to stylistic reasons, I'm choosing not to paint the whole face, just that main focal point of eyes, nose, and cheeks. For the background, I'm laying down a light wash of French ultramarine over the paper. I'm including the hair and most of the clothes that are in the shadowed area. Basically everything minus the face and the neck. Now, French ultramarine is a granulating paint. So tiny particles in the paint separate within a wash and create these little flecks and craters on your paper. And we're seeing that all over the painting here. The granulation is gonna look different depending on what kind of paper you're using. So with hot press, it's not gonna look as intense as on a cold press paper. After the wash dries, I'm glazing down another layer of the granulating paint over the hair. But this time I'm adding permanent red and a little bit of yellow to the French ultramarine. So when you mix non-granulating paints with granulating paints, the granulating paint will sink because it's heavier, and the resulting mixture won't be even. Like here, you can see the colors are separating. You're getting ribbons of purple weaving through these flecks of blue and some of the red pooling softly around them. Like when you see gasoline spilled on wet asphalt, right? That mingling of rainbow colors. So when I first started watercolor, I did not like granulation for several reasons, but mainly I had this very stubborn idea in my head of what a watercolor painting should be. And it was born from seeing pictures on Pinterest and Tumblr and Instagram, which is a rabbit hole into feeling like the most untalented blob to have ever set foot on this planet. And I started getting a sense of how people manage these silky smooth washes and seeing these seamless transitions from one subject within the painting to the next, like those gorgeous landscape paintings with trees that look to be carved, or portraits with soft, delicate washes. You can barely see the evidence of a single brushstroke. So I gathered all this information into a little folder in my head, and I thought, okay, a proper watercolor painting should be 1, completely transparent, and 2, smooth as polished ice. And granulation didn't belong within that narrow definition. But I have grown in this relatively short journey and discarded those restrictions because life's too short. A watercolor painting is what you want it to be. You're painting and you're using watercolor, it's a watercolor painting. End of story. The real watercolor art is all the paints you befriended along the way. And I've learned that granulation can give you so much with very little effort on your part. And that's a lifeline you should absolutely grab onto. So here I'm just glazing the hair with a 3-color mixture. And on the right part of the hair, I'm adding more yellow to the mix to tone the color down further and make it less blue. As we add more layers of paint, we're seeing this kind of 3D effect, right? Some of the colors look like they've been pushed back into the paper, and I have to emphasize, I'm not doing anything super special here. I'm just increasing the value of the hair, using the same mixture, and just adding some broccolis here and there for added texture. Really, it's the paint that's doing all the work. French Ultramarine doing the heavy lifting, and I'm just coasting along for the ride. To finish it off, I added little details to the painting, strands of hair cascading out, a few extra lines here and there, and some splotches in the bottom right corner there. And there you have it. That was a quick, simple demonstration of the breadth of texture and depth that granulation can create. There are so many ways you can use it. And if you're like my past self and avoiding the granulating paints because they look weird or they're pushing the unpredictability to a level you're not comfortable with in a medium that is already pretty unpredictable, I implore you to give them a shot and experiment some more. You may find some surprising results. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care of yourself, take care of your box of sheep, and I'll see you in the next one.